What's up, guys? Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, I hope you stay. So, today I'm going to share a few tips to help put ourselves ahead in life. Keep watching. Baby, let the light shine through if you believe. Tip number 1, don't rush into marriage. Tebagabayo bidabo. Please don't rush into marriage because that is one of the most important decisions in life. When you marry someone, your partner can either make you or break you. So it is not a decision you should take lightly. Think about it and don't be rushed into it. Like the Nigerians say, if you marry the right partner, you are complete. But if you marry the wrong partner, you are finished. Well, I'm no English teacher, so I won't tell you the difference between the two, but I believe you get the picture. So yeah, don't feel the need to be pressured into marriage. That is not something you take lightly. Tip number 2, don't keep up with the Joneses. I see a lot of people sometimes compete with people that they actually don't even know what their financial status is. Like, why would you compete with someone if you don't even know what their source of income is? And even so, even if you know their source of income, like, you don't know what their priorities are in life. So why would you compete with such a person? So try as much as possible not to keep up with the Joneses. And there's this quote I read, and it said, if you don't care what other people think about you, you have reached a dangerous level of freedom. And my dear, believe you me, when you stop caring what other people think about you, you stop doing things just by impulse or to impress them. Tip number 3, chase your dreams, but make sure your strategy is grounded in reality. Don't go pursuing a course that you are not going to be able to monetize. There are some courses you hear at universities and you wonder, what do those people do? For instance, someone doing a Bachelor of Library Science. Like, someone please educate me in the comment section below. Like, what does such a person do? A bachelor's in library science. What does such a person do? Basically, to me, to my understanding, that course is not grounded in reality, really. Like, how are you going to make money out of that? And of late, I see a lot of people thriving in careers that are actually not their professions. And you ask yourself, where did they go wrong? Basically, what I'm saying is that yes, it is okay to chase your dreams, chase them, but don't forget reality. Keep reality close to your dream so that you don't just pursue something that is not going to put food on the table. Tip number 4, don't burn bridges. I think at this age of mine, I have reached a state of mind whereby I am so okay with, agreeing to disagree with someone. And you know why? Because them tables turn. You might look at someone right now and they are useless to you. At that particular time, they're useless to you, but tomorrow, there might be someone that you actually need to reach something out there. So don't burn bridges. Don't, if you disagree with someone, doesn't mean that you have to fight with them or you have to cut ties with them completely. No, you can disagree amicably. Like, if someone has a certain doctrine that they believe in, and you don't believe in it, it doesn't mean that you have to totally cut ties with them. You can still relate with them. You don't have to take on their doctrine. They don't have to take on your doctrine. But you can still relate with them comfortably in a good way. So don't burn bridges. Please learn to agree to disagree with someone, because with life, you never know when you will need that person. Pick your friends wisely. Usually we get to know who our true friends are when we are in need. But today I want you to change it out a little bit. Watch the people who clap for you when you're winning. Watch out for people who don't clap for you when you're winning, because those are the true people. They actually refer to as green snakes in green grass. Those of you who did history, yeah, because I remember my history, they said Napoleon was like a green snake in green grass. Anyway, that aside, basically what I'm trying to say, a lot of people out there only like you when you're either below them or you are on the same level with them. The moment you try to go higher or above them, well, you get to see their true colors. So when you're picking your friends, please pick them wisely. Don't only look out for those who are in need for you, who are there for you when you're in need. Also look out for those who don't clap for you when you're winning, because those are the most dangerous ones. Create an emergency fund. I once attended a youth gathering somewhere in town, and the speaker of the day started by asking a few questions. He came in, introduced himself, and he was like, so, how many of us can survive for 6 months living the same lifestyle if you lost your job today? And I'll ask you the same question. Can you survive for 6 months living the same lifestyle you live when you have lost your job? Think about it. So he asked that, and he asked the audience, for those who belong in that category, to raise their hands. And a few hands went up, and I was stunned. It's a few hands that actually went up. I think they were like 3, 4. And then he went ahead and reduced the amount of time. He was like, how many can survive living the same lifestyle without a job for 3 months? A few more hands went up. They were like, I think 5, 6, 7. And then he reduced it to 2 months, reduced it to 1 month. And I was stunned to know that some people can't even survive for 1 month in case they lost their job today. That is a dangerous way of living life. It is a dangerous way of living life. So make sure you have an emergency fund. And what is an emergency fund? Ideally, an emergency fund is when you put away 6 months of your living expenses. Like you need to have 6 months. At least 6 months of your living expenses in that. If you're not working, if you lost your job today, if you got involved in an accident, if you fell sick, if you had another, kind of emergency, or maybe your partner has an issue and you have to become the caretaker, or your parent and you have to quit your job, you need to have that money for 6 months to be able to keep your life going. If you lost your job, within the 6 months, if you still can maintain your cost of living, you can be able to look for another job comfortably. And in case you have a medical emergency, you can still cater for that. But you find someone has a medical emergency, and I'm not trying to be judgmental, but you find someone in need of a medical surgery that is worth 500,000 Uganda shillings. And from the word go, they start fundraising. Like, really? Really? You have a job. The emergency is for 500,000 Uganda shillings, and you start fundraising. And don't get me wrong. Of course, there are those who are poor and so poor, and even with the job in existence, they are barely surviving. But I'm talking to you who is actually in position to save up money, but you would prefer to live off the YOLO principle. You live for today, you live for, you only live once. Please make a change and create an emergency fund because you need it. Stay out of debt. And I don't mean all debt, but I'm saying stay out of bad debt. There's good debt and bad debt. Good debt, you borrow money to invest. That is good debt, because at the end of the day, it will give you profit, and you'll be able to actually expand your finances. But bad debt is when you go out of your way to borrow money to go happen. Bad debt is when you borrow money to go travel. Like, who does that? That is not an emergency. Traveling can wait until you can actually afford it. So stay out of bad debt. Read some books. Personally, I look at reading books as an opportunity I get to actually have a one-on-one with that person. There are a lot of influential people out there, and being down here in Africa, and I mean even those who are abroad, they don't actually have access to such people. And the only way you can actually get to have a one-on-one with them or pick their brains personally, that is a personal opinion, I believe it's through reading books. Let's say, for instance, if you want to have a word with Michelle Obama, you want to know how she managed being a first lady in a first country, then you ought to look out for her book, Becoming. Then you'll get to have a picture of how her life in the White House looked like. So I encourage people to read more books, because that is the only easiest and cheapest way to actually sit and have a conversation with the most influential people in the world. So if you've not been reading books, please consider starting to read books. It will actually enlighten you. It will expand your mind. It will change your perspective on some things. Reading is really good for you. So if you haven't been doing it, please consider doing it. And if it's a weakness, because at the beginning reading was also a weakness for me, you could consider listening to audiobooks. They are also effective. That is how I started my reading journey. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I hope these tips can make a difference in your life or to someone out there. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought about these few tips to put yourself ahead in life. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing by clicking the red button below. Ciao.